Venice International Film Festival 2008. George Clooney and Brad Pitt are joined by hundreds of international press and thousands of fans and cinephiles, all assessing the best new films and reappraising the classics. But what makes a great film? One person who does know is the artistic director of the event that won the 2007 Inside Film Award and which was hailed by Variety as Australia's only must-attend film festival. Ruby TV catches Katrina Sedgwick on the festival buzz between screenings. We find out what a festival director looks for in a film, plus what to expect at this year's Adelaide Film Festival, an event that focuses not just on film, but wider screen culture and its future. As a film festival director, what's the checklist for a festival like Venice?
Well, I suppose what's exciting about coming here is that you get a mix of the more kind of commercial, bigger title films. I mean, my favourite film here so far has been Ponyo, the Yu Miyazaki film that's already got distribution in Australia, but now I've seen it, I loved it. It means I can go back and negotiate hard to get it for our festival. But you also get a very particular aesthetic in terms of the European films, in terms of the Middle Eastern cinema. It's a very strong Iranian program this year, or certainly very big. There's some very interesting new African cinema. And I suppose Venice is just one of the big five, and it's my first time here.
Really?
And
because you're going from here to Toronto, is
that's
that
right? Yeah. And previously, because the Adelaide Film Festival is a relatively... Well, we're a very new festival. We've only had 3 events. We're biennial and we're about to have our 4th. So we're kind of obscure. So we have always gone to the kind of smaller festivals. It's not until in 2007 we kind of got a very prestigious listing in Variety.
The only must-see festival
in Australia. Yeah, that's right, which I don't know is necessarily true, but it certainly was a fantastic thing to have written about us. And so we felt that with that it would be worthwhile coming to Venice and Toronto, that we'd be able to get the meetings that we need. The great thing, the reason to travel across the world is to go to a festival where you have a trust in the taste of the programming team and they've done a whole of the cherry picking for you.
Do you have like a checklist of things that the type of film you're looking for, or are you just completely open?
I have to be absorbed in the film. If I'm completely absorbed in the film, then okay, we'll seriously look at it. And I just think that has to be the most basic thing. Mm-hmm. My taste is pretty eclectic. I mean, I'm interested in mainstream cinema. I'm also interested in more eclectic experimental work and kind of everything in between. And that's the other thing that we look at when we're programming, is finding the balance. You know, so that you have stuff for cinephiles, you have stuff for...
Something that your mother would like.
Exactly.
What is the Adelaide Festival going to be like?
Well, I think one of the key things about our festival is that we're very much a kind of meeting place for filmmakers. So we have an investment fund, so we'll be investing in like 10 different new Australian films, and they'll be world premiering in our program, and they're a pretty eclectic bunch. It's a boutique festival. There'll be 10 days of lots of talking about interesting trends in filmmaking, interesting currents in filmmaking. There'll be kind of some good forums and then a lot of networking for industry, but not about marketplace, much more about ideas.
Okay.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
Yeah. And Carla Lido is just here. Great.
So why has the Adelaide Film Festival been so successful?
I mean, it's tightly programmed and it's small, which makes it very kind of audience friendly in a sense. And I suppose Adelaide too is a very hospitable city. You know, it's a very small city. It's surrounded by parkland, so it makes it very intimate. And there's a very good arts festival. I mean, similar in a way to how Venice works with its Biennale.
So it doesn't get lost in the city.
Yeah, there's not a lot of alternatives. So people in Adelaide love coming to festivals, and they really embrace it. It's having those kind of intimate moments for not just the filmmakers in the industry, but also for the audience. They kind of come out of a screening and they're there together and they can talk about it.
Your background is not just cinema, you've done a lot of theatre, film, and...
I mean, we are a festival and we are very much following the model of the other successful festivals that we've had in our city. And they tend to be, the Adelaide Festival of Arts I worked on as a producer for 3 different festivals. I was there in 2000 when you were there. And, you know, what's exciting about the Adelaide Festival of Arts is it's it's a very deep process to engage with. You're not just an audience member passively seeing a show. There's
It can
all
be
sorts of
frustrating
other
for
things.
people, I think.
Yeah, you know, you got a Sydney festival, or certainly you used to, and you saw a show and you went home. You never met anybody. You know, Adelaide is very much about that sharing of ideas and trying to bring in as many different elements so that I like to call it multiple points of entry. There's all sorts of different ways you can enter our festival, and I think that that's very important. Having forums, having workshops, having masterclasses, having screenings, having parties, you know, where people just get pissed together and celebrate, and also perhaps having quite a bit of informality. I think that's another very nice thing. Yes. Okay, I'm going to duck in. I'm trying.
Okay. Enjoy it.